Alright, my dudes, I just thought I would do a comment cleanup special just because I'm trying to clear up as many comments as I had before in preparation for the hiatus show. I was watching a little bit of Buckminster Fuller. I really do like to watch these older type of videos just because it really illustrates to you where we are really and how far we've fallen. I mean, it's like from 1974. I mean, Buckminster Fuller tells you from the start. I mean, this is the question of every age of whether or not we make it, right?
If we do survive, it's because man is using his mind and doing his own thinking and not leaving it to somebody else.
Yeah, I know.
See,
I'm very...
you just told you, all right? If we're going to make it, we have to do our own thinking and not leave it to someone else or an authority figure or religious figure or a superstition or an expert, all right? Do you think anybody on any side is doing their own thinking or doing their own research? No, which is why we have this idea of, this anchor model or influencer model or celebrity model, all right? Like we are in, multifaceted, non-thinking paradigm. I mean, a lot of what he says is talking about our current situation, which is actually predicted in the 70s, really. It's this idea of us trying to, transcend this Malthusian scarcity-based model and integration, but really what's happened is that the system has merely doubled down on the Malthusian system, and instead of integration of the elderly or everyone else, is actually now in the culling process. I mean, this culling process happens every age time. It cycles out between groups. If you pay attention to the Roman time with like Hypatia and the movie Agora, I was watching Agora before. They moved the cycling from the Greek logic reason time into the Christian. And this is because this is about consensus gentium, the movement of the blind idiot masses. And then right now we're shifting over from the Christian patriot truthers. I mean, they'll be used as the sacrificial lambs, just as the before them it was actually the Romans at the end of their empire. This is a transitioning over empire for the reset. I mean, this is why we talk about this great Saturn conjunction, this wheel moving over. So I mean, they're going to lose, and then the people who are going to win is basically the woke, the scientifica. If you there's a whole list of nomenclature terminology which must be created. A lot of what you watch when it comes to the truther movement or TV to me is kabuki theater. It is elaborate, it is hyperbolic, it is there to elicit non-thinking emotion for very specific reasons, usually to get you to do something stupid. So like a lot of people ask me in this video that I wasn't going to upload, what is it? I mean, I talk a little bit about it, of how far things are gamed out against, the astrological sky clock for the leveraging of energies. I mean, to me, nothing is really unpredictable. I mean, history often repeats itself, all right? This is merely a switching out of who wins and who loses at this point. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I could see this coming down a mile away. Okay, and when I talk about the truthers, I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but they are merely pawns in this game too. They're not doing anything of real use or value, really. So I mean, if anything, they're going to be used as the useful idiots. Like I never said it before, but I guess I'll tell you now. It's just that the truther community from its inception, like from the very beginning, even post Blind 11 and early, I would want to say 2007, 2008, just because I know that my Yoda master he is one of the first. I mean, he is literally the arch nemesis of Alex Jones. It's pretty obvious at this point. What it is that they want to radicalize the. First of all, in the long ago, I mean, this is, look, if you believe in this, this is kind of weird, but look, man, they can sort of see into the future. They could see this thing happening called the singularity of information through the Great Awakening. The singularity of the transference of information is the ability to communicate with people via the internet. So they want to hijack this transference of information, which I call like the hijacking of Sophia, through the elicitations of agents. And these agents are your influencers, whether they be YouTubers, Twitter blue check marks, people with influence. It doesn't matter if they're shills, agents, or parrots, right? Or it doesn't matter, because what it is, it's being pushed by a very direct narrative from the top down via an algorithm. Like this is basically top down, communism, command directive communism, but instead of communism, this has to be considered a new system. I would consider this like technocratic neo-feudalism, if you want to get down to it. I mean, really, I mean, the stuff that I'm talking about, like, no one has written a proper book about this. Like, I have to leverage off Brave New World. That is outdated for what is going on right now. I have to leverage off 1984 for the woke progressives and the truthers, the Christian Patriot truthers. I mean, it's gamed out on the left and the right. Let's be honest here. Like, I'm like, if you listen to what I'm talking, it's obvious that I'm more of a cosmopolitan liberal, but I find myself conflicted about what is going on, because it is horrific, because I have very high intelligence. So, look, long story short, if I just told you that it's the reset of the Roman Empire, which is divide and conquer. So before they used the Romans with their pagans, as they lose power and transference through majority worship, which is this condensation of this idea of louche, it's emotional energy. They shifted over to Christianity. Now it's being shifted over to the science, the neo-techno-scientifica. I mean, I might have to pick better terms. So what do they want to do? If you watch Agora, they push the Romans to martyrdom the Christians, and now they want to push the Christians right now to martyrdom the Scientifica through a I mean, what do you think? Why do you think the whole? I mean, they keep failing though. Like the whole January 6th thing. That's why they try to push it like it's a new Blind 11. They need to move forward. Really, I mean, if you actually watch the V for Vendetta clip I showed you earlier, they said, "Oh, a miracle given to by God," just like that New York governor said. But now it's going to be moved over. It shows predictive where it's 1 year later. Then they get the extremists. Look. Long story short, I mean, Jonesy boy, he was leading the January 6th charge. Then he tried to pretend like he wasn't there. Oh, and he's not actually the cute. Look, you really have no idea like what is going on and how ridiculous what I see is going on in these evil shepherds, like wolves in sheep's clothing. Like, I personally don't care what affiliation you are. I don't care what religion, secret society, whatever you are. I'm just playing referee and telling you how it is. Okay. Like, I personally don't have interest in this, but I want to get through the comments first. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here. So the main question people asked me in that video was, what is the end goal? The end goal is to use the Christian Patriot Truthers. I mean, right now we see it manifesting as the Q-Tard movement to cause a violent revolution, and then they'll be put down, and then it'll cause through the use of right of martyrdom to the solidification of the neo-techno system, because then they have an excuse to go full ham. All right, ain't no good old boys in the South ain't doing nothing. All right, like, the system is gamed out. Technology is basically the ticking time clock. All right, and as the clock ticks forward, generational dynamic shifts over to those who are born post smartphone. I mean, there's a lot more to this idea, but obviously I can't go in depth. And really, I mean, why do I have to do this? You don't have any idea how much research I have to do to figure this out. I mean, I would have to go through Brave New World Revisited, 1984. I mean, Fahrenheit 451. I mean, it's a lot easier to hide the information and put like 10 needles in 10,000 haystacks rather than try to get rid of the haystack, because then it's going to raise suspicion. I mean, there's better tactics out there. Like, a lot of the tactics I see right now is I call it the Catharization of groups, like what they did to the Cathar Christians. Right now, I mean, the truthers, I mean, using the point contention of the magical elixir, really, they are literally telling their audience to go homeless, go hungry, or face extreme persecution. I mean, what is that going to do for their life or spiritual journey? It is shocking what I'm hearing. I mean, I know the end goal. The end goal has nothing to do with the magical elixir. The magical elixir and the pointy stick is really merely a point of contention. Well, I do, even though I say that, I do recommend that do not take the Jason and Jason one if you're a woman, especially if you're pregnant. If you have to quit, then after the baby is born, then take another one like Moderna or whatever. I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, I'm not going to give recommendations, I guess. But look, don't you understand what the end goal is? The end goal is not the magical elixir, all right? That is too cumbersome. That is too inconvenient, all right? They might roll that out, and eventually, look, they want to move into Brave New World, this idea of Soma. a convenient pill where everybody carries capsules, and then I mean, it is designed to do a lot of things. Snuff out sensation, free will. We want to get to like endgame. Over generations, I mean, they want to make it so that the scientific lead will control who can have babies and not, really. And then that is really this idea of the control of the flow of spice. He who controls the flow of spice controls the universe. He who controls who can, propagate the future generations can control the future itself. All right. I mean, there's a lot more to this idea. Just don't talk about it. I can go back. I can go forward and forward. Like, you have no idea how far I can go ahead. Okay. Let's start this right away. I mean, I'm sorry to be so bleak. It's just that I see it clearly. I see which group is doing what and how it's going to be done, and I'm watching it unfold in live time. All right. Like, I've been watching this for like 18 months, but I've been aware for it for years. All right. And I can see years ahead. So. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I personally don't care because it does not affect me, but people always come up to me and ask me questions like, oh, if I have to take it, how do I counteract it? Pink beet juice, pomegranate juice, and right after you take it, try to flush out your system like you're preparing for a weed test. Obvious things that is, antioxidants because it's heavy metals. So, like vitamin C, L-cysteine, anything leading up to glutathione. You can buy Asians, they consume glutathione a lot because it's in skin whitening pills. Like, glutathione is the most powerful type of antioxidant. You're trying to basically get the heavy metals out as soon as you take it. I mean, there's ways to counteract this. I mean, I don't know why people don't do simple research, okay? I mean, okay, whatever, dude. I mean, that's if you're interested. So, like I just said, beet juice, pomegranate juice. You want to take some antioxidants, heavy amounts of antioxidants. All right, then, I mean, that's if you really care. Personally, I mean, I'm young and healthy. That's not going to affect me. If you're a boomer, yes. If you're, I mean, look, really, if you're a pregnant woman, you should not be taking this. So, if they force you, and this is a point force of coercion at this point. So,
dark glasses, Woody.
I mean, but be aware. I mean, that is just a red herring. The eventual end goal is convenience of the pill. All right, like they've conditioned people to take pills. I mean, literally, just watch Brave New World on Peacock. Like, I tell people 1,000 times to watch that series if you want to know what the future looks like.
Dark glasses, Woody. 39 minutes ago.
Yep.
Truther is to the normie as the pessimist is to the truther, I guess. Very illuminating comparison.
Oh, well, that's good.
Wonderful imagery evoked by the idea of bribing Sophia, like...
Yeah, I don't see the truthers as any different than the normie, right? Like, NPC is to normie is to truther. I mean, the truther is merely the normie to me. I mean, the truther is nothing special, all right? There's obvious narcissism, solipsism, spiritual supremacy. They think that they're only true spirited beings. They use dehumanizing tactics. Only we can see. Look, if you really cared, I mean, look if you really care, then, like, what are you doing?
Wonderful imagery evoked by the idea of bribing Sophia, like nobles paying tribute.
Yeah, nobles paying tribute, which is why I recommend you watch the movie Agora. Agora, right? It is the fall of, the Roman Empire to the Christians, so it's story of Hypatia. I mean, what is happening right now is literally the story of Agora. I'm gonna have to rewatch it again. As for paying the bribe to Sophia, I mean, Sophia is really, I mean, it is the prize of the collective subconsciousness represented as an egregore of the feminine, mind of will. But these days, no one has logic or reason. So, I mean, it is what it is. It happens in like every goddamn age at this point. Okay, so that's dark glasses, Woody. Okay, let's see this violet turtle. Be aware, I don't really want to tell people this because I'm trying to spare you the bleakness of reality. All right, look, I'm sharing the bleakness of reality. I really am trying to save you the suffering and knowing. Okay, then you want to know more, so that way you become more indifferent to it, which is pretty good. So maybe I should just tell you straight to your face, because I give you hints all the time what to pay attention to. Jared Leto, all right, new Blade Runner, pay attention. All right. I mean, even Mr. Nobody. All right, there's gonna be the future predicament that I showed in Mr. Nobody is what they're telling you what the new future is gonna look like. All right. Okay. And also Brave New World on Peacock. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. We'll do another one. Let's see. White. Okay, I'll try this. I mean, obviously. Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. White lab coats. Okay, okay. I swear to God, like I click one little button and everything gets screwed up. Okay, this is from BC. Look, I mean, you know, it's kind of weird, even in my position. Like, you know, I don't even have a college degree. All right, why am I talking about this stuff? Like, the people that listen to me, like, have PhDs and masters or scientists are actually very smart people, which to me is very strange to me. So.
White coat.
I mean, it's not my fault my IQ is super high. It's because I literally base off the foundation of my understanding using Buckminster Fuller's ideas of systems and integrations. I mean, Buckminster Fuller, I will always recommend.
White coat priests, one of the most outspoken groups trying to uncover.
Yes, White Coat Priest. This is leveraging this idea of the expert. I mean, this comes from Bernays, like in his book Propaganda. Oh, you trust me just because I'm a doctor because I wear a white lab coat priest. I mean, this works in this age. Okay, before they would have worn like the cloak of a Catholic priest. All right, nothing's changed. Okay, before they would have worn the cloak of a high priestess. Okay. From the Greek, right? Nothing has changed. These tactics do not change because of the human need for authority.
White coat priests.
Which is why, Buckminster Fuller said that the moment that we escape this scarcity model, Malthusian model of thinking, is the moment that we think for ourselves. Do you think the idiot masses, the little man on the street, is going to think for themselves? No. All right. And even if they try to think for themselves, they are trapped in, a prison of their own creation through their personal perspective, which is why I always say no man is an island, all right? I mean, solipsism is a dangerous thing, all right? Like, I'm not a solipsist, which allows me to expand my mind and learn from everybody else, all right?
White coat priests, one of the most outspoken groups trying to uncover the truth, are some of the most truth-resistant people.
Well, that depends. The ones that you see on the front are just nothing more than front actors. You want to talk about the real white lab coat priests, like those of the Fringe Division. I mean, the Fringe Division exists in real life. These people who have quote-unquote cosmic clearance, well, I can't talk too much about them, like the Jason group. I mean, you want to know, like, the real white lab coat priests? I mean, they're leveraging off science that really has occultic principles, like even in relationship to the Kybalion or alchemy, or this manipulation of the material world via Fuller's polytopic theories of matter and Tesla's theories upon electricity or the ether, even in relationship to Charles Pottier-Stanek. So I mean, that's what people care about science. I try not to talk about science because I just assume no one really understands what I'm saying when it comes to science or mathematics, like Pythagorean mysteries or Euclidean stuff. Okay, Mr. Dark Glasses Woody, Mr. Atlantic, Mr. Economist. He's the smarty pants of the group. You think you're smarter than me, boy? Let's see. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I did answer this, by the way. Okay, show my replies. Well, that's where the replies go. Whatever, dude. Thanks for answering me. Okay, that's good. Rainbow Tomato, even though SQS came back recently and was saying some dumb shit. I can't believe he was talking about, look at how evil these people are. And then he used a clip of the baby Mason in the daycare. I mean, that was obvious propaganda for like black magic to spread to the Christians to repeat a subconscious spell. I mean, that's why I don't like talking about magic. It's pretty complicated. But if SQS, this guy, if SQS can get fooled, then anyone can get fooled. I mean, Days of Noah is the one propagating this stuff. So whatever. I mean, Days of Noah is my favorite shill right now. I mean, you want to talk about like high-level propaganda for the Christians. I mean, it's hilarious. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing, especially when he does his tone inflections of his voice. And like, I don't know. Whatever, dude. I mean, maybe he's just a parrot, but I don't know. I mean, that guy seems like he knows more. Okay, whatever. I mean, actually, if you actually pay attention to Days of Noah, he's basically the archetypical Christian. Like, how do I say this? He's the false shepherd, which is in the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis. If you want to know what the future also looks like, please watch Bruce Willis's Surrogates and imagine as days of Noah as being the false shepherd who's merely a front, okay, for powers behind him, okay?
I'm so glad my parents were super poor all my life because I never got my wisdom teeth taken out.
Okay, that's good. You know, I'm very glad that Dark Glass is pointing out this idea of the wisdom teeth. There is something to this, all right? When you symbolically remove surgically your wisdom teeth from your skull, your head, the Pythagorean mystery of the flute that plays through the will projection of your voice, it's like you're losing your wisdom, right? Or you're handing it over to the white lab coat priest as a sacrifice.
I'm so glad.
I mean, there's reasons why they put these things, and then even I did not notice something which was obvious to me. I'm very happy I did not get my wisdom teeth removed.
I'm so glad my parents were super poor all my life because I never got my
Crew
wisdom teeth
wisdom
taken
teeth.
out. However, mine are impacted. One never even came out through the gum.
Well, at least you have it. Yay, team wisdom teeth. Okay, Val, I'm sorry you got yours removed because the white lab coat man tricked you. Let's see, penny chance. Okay, so you were, okay, that means, okay, yeah, that's why you were a dummy until you hit the age of, yeah, you didn't start looking at, okay, yeah, you had your wisdom teeth removed, and so you were a CNN parrot dummy, but you didn't start questioning it until you hit, yeah, you probably didn't start questioning until you were 40. And then eventually you became a truther Karen's hard because of the truthers who really leveraged this 1984 idea of in 1984 what they do is they stand in front of a screen and they shout hatred at a directed enemy. I mean, that's what the whole truther is there for, to project a false will to power. Because they don't know where to direct their anger to, so they direct it to a lightning rod, which is really just there to absorb all the energy. All right, like that's why presidents exist. Okay, let's see. We don't need. Well, I'm doing a comment section right now. I'm on the line. Okay, let's see. All right, bear with me one moment. Okay, let's see. Like I said, I mean, what kind of clown world is this that you have to listen to me using an anime girl virtual avatar with bunny ears to talk about like things that actually matter? This is why I think that this is absolute insanity. Like look at me. I'm going to straight up troll mode. Like I swear to God, like my mood has improved drastically because I'm straight up trolling. Like look at this. Okay, whatever. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Oh, who commented? Hold on. Dude, Jesus Christ, YouTube. Spirits free, it's not that the normies are scared. Wait, hold on. Jesus Christ. Alright, dude, I'm gonna have to take a quick break. Fuck this. Alright, my dudes, we're back, and I can't believe you interrupted me, Spirits Free. Like, that's all you typed?
Spirit free. 3 minutes ago. It's not that the normies are scared.
What do you mean? The normies are scared, right? They're scared of losing their freedom, losing their job, losing their status, losing their privilege, losing, what their reputation. All this has to do with fear. I mean, V for Vendetta told you. I mean, that's what I realized. Losing their support group, losing their paradigm, losing what they thought of what they knew of the truth community, losing what they knew of what they thought of the mainstream, losing what they thought of they could trust the experts, I mean, this is all about fear, all right? And then this whole thing has to do with this idea of attachment. Like, literally, if you just follow the first and second noble truth in Buddhism, number one, life is suffering. Number two, the cause of all suffering is the attachment to life, all right? I mean, this is like this fear paradigm, which is echoed into the 3 tenets of Buddhism, which is ignorance. I see ignorance everywhere. Hatred. 10 minutes of hate, like 1984. After Joe Biden, Orange Man bad. Or the news, it's all hatred, or ignorance, misinformation, or greed, all right? A lot of people won't give anything up for shekels, okay? Like, let's get real here.
It's not that the normies are scared. Jessa Reed.
Look, I would say that they are scared. But we can agree to disagree, so.
Jessa Reed explained it.
Yeah, I like what Jessa Reed says. But then, look, Jessa Reed is in the same predicament I am, but I'm much more willing to go full wackadoo and just tell you, because I'm not afraid, really, of my reputation.
Jessa Reed explained it. There is a funny thing that happens when you present your ultimate proof like Matt always does. You come across like an absolute lunatic.
Yeah, you come across like an absolute lunatic unless you control how you present your information. I use the rule of absurdity, like using, look at this VTuber thing, look at this video. What happens when you die? I did a complete analysis of a near-death breakdown, and that was the best near-death experience I could break down, because it pretty much goes through every single, typical archetype in a book, right? Like, you're listening to, what is it, the meaning of life and the mystery of death from me, using a anime cringy avatar. Like, this is the clown world we live in. Okay, let's try to get right to it. Okay, Kensuke, okay, I didn't mean to blow smoke. Okay, yeah, don't worry, bro. We are front row seats. Okay, are you sure the way out is not just another separation trap? I mean, I've explained this like 1,000 times. It's the Chinese finger trap, predicament. There's a Chinese finger trap of this soul predicament. You pull out, you get more stuck. In order to escape the Chinese finger trap, you push in, you come together, then you can pull out to escape. Like this idea of exhale, inhale. No man is his own island. We are really trapped in our predicament. The biggest trap is obvious. It is the scarcity Malthusian model. If you want to get down deep into it, like Schopenhauer or Buddha, the main predicament of our scarcity-based Malthusian predicament is the fact that we are mortal, and we are trapped literally by the limitations of our body, which is the lead cause of all of our suffering. So, I mean, we can always agree, on different things. Okay, like that is what I would suggest you pay attention to. So, like, the way out is really to realize that, we should be trying to work together. So, but in reality, in the real world, you can only do so much. Like, that's why this even comes to the trap of the Bodhisattva. Like, I'm only interested in helping my quote-unquote soul group, but not trying to save those who cannot be saved, because they don't want to be saved. They love Disney realm. They love the mystique, the thin veneer of entertainment that Mickey Mouse offers them in this Earth realm. Really, it is very fascinating, but it's a carnival. And imagine, like I tell people all the time, imagine that I've been to Disney World like 1,000 times, and now I'm trapped here for like 8 hours. Right? I want to get the hell out and never come back. Right? For a lot of people, it's their first time. Okay, or people are just there. Oh, well, we want to go back on. We want to go back on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Like, come on. Okay, Ryan DeLine. Okay, I will address you. For the record, Ryan DeLine, you always ask a lot of personal questions, because I don't mean to be rude, but you're far behind on my channel, just because you are very new. You're like a noob on my channel. Most people have been here for a year or longer, and a lot of your problems comes from the fact that you are a young male who needs to exert his will, and it's also a projection of the problems of your ego, really. Okay. Like, a great example is, I was going to teach you people, quote-unquote, magic or superpowers, and then literally you come out and asking me to teach you black magic so you can use it to get girls and influence people and project your will. It's like, what? Okay, now I'm definitely not going to teach it. So, I mean, thank God, Tiana's right, all right? I should not teach people this stuff. Like, I'll talk about it a little bit, but I'm not going to teach people it outright.
Is there anything we can truthfully do to get something positive out of the future?
Yeah, dude, the future offers you many opportunities. You just have to know what the future is going to present its offer. It's going to be like a Ready Player One scenario. Like, you see me playing out with funny anime avatars. I have the access to information, infinite video games, all this stuff, which is the natural beautification of the arts as people become connected through the internet. Once you cage your mind and stop trying to connect with people around the world and on the internet, and try to go into your own like little echo chambers. Like imagine you're on the BitChute echo chamber. The BitChute echo chamber is basically, I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, I've explained this 1,000 times. So I always say try to see if you can gain any value from the people around you, regardless of the differentiations of opinions. Like I watched a show called Naked and Afraid, and one of the best episodes was when a professional hunter, he was a down boy, southern boy, he was a professional gator hunter, whatever, and he had to team up with a hippie vegetarian girl from California who just liked to play hula hoops, and she taught him spirituality, and he taught her the lessons of survival with Mother Nature, and they both learned something. All right, which is good. This is like the idea of the law of opposites, all right, which is the law of polarity, which is told in the Kybalion.
Is there anything we can truthfully do to get something positive out of the future?
Oh, dude, I'm not having a problem. I mean, the positivity that I get from the future is like my channel. I get to talk to a lot of people and express my thoughts and what I see happening. Just because it's bleak for the majority of people does not mean it's bleak for me. Like for me, your goal is really to bring heaven onto earth. Like you have to be aware. I mean, if you like, you know, I chill out. I have a good time. All right. Like a lot of my problems comes from the fact that people cannot see as far as I can. For me, this is not fascinating. It's relatively boring for me. I just point it out for people.
Just remember, Master, that forming this big a group and us all forming a similar opinion of the—
Whoa. This is where we need to go away from group dynamics. At the beginning of my channel, I never said I want to be the leader of a group. This is a channel for my hangout friends. I was just chillaxing and goofing around. It's not about group egregore dynamics, all right? This is where you need to get rid of this idea, all right? We all need to do thinking for ourselves. You're just using me as a bouncing board to see where you need to steer your course, right? Like I'm more of a reference tool, all right? Like that's what you really should be using me as, a reference tool. You need to compare your thinking to the way I think, because I've already done the work and I'm like way ahead of you, okay? And even when it comes to this idea of, you know, us as a big group, we are not a big group, all right? I have 230 subscribers. I talk to maybe 20 people. This is not a big group. We are the extreme minority of the extreme minority, okay? Like 0.00001% of the population. Like, do you have any idea how rare this thinking is? Like the way I think, I mean, there might not be anyone else in the world that thinks like me. That's how rare it is to get to the state of mind, which is, you know, what some people call the mythical enlightenment of finding nirvana, or the mystery of the light of illumination. Look, I've looked into everything just to double check where I'm at. Okay, like
Just remember, Master, that forming this big a group and us all forming a similar opinion of the future will help solidify it, so make sure you depolarize.
You know, and for the record, it's not me solidifying the future. It is the consensus gentium of, you know, this idea of democracy, the idiot masses that has decided the future of where the ship goes. But where the lemmings go, I will do a hard left as soon as they veer off into the cliff. And this does not affect me. So
just remember, Master, that forming this big a group and us all forming a similar opinion of the future will help solidify it, so make sure you depolarize yourself or meditate on this something, so you have the truth without being polarized one way or the other. Don't worry about—
Look, I'm not polarized one way or the other, all right? I'm actually very objective. I look at all groups, all right? Unlike most people who only stare at the hyperbolic right side, I also look at the hyperbolic left side, and they do have some good points, all right? It's just that no one's willing to address it on the right, just like no one on the right is willing to address it on the left, all right? There is a kernel of truth to the progressive woke tards, just as there is a kernel of truth to the progressive right tards, but eventually they will be polarized as enemies, just like in the movie Agora, where the tarred monkeys of the pagan Romans took the violent route against the tarred monkeys of the Christians, and eventually it's like rigging a fight, all right? It's like I mean, it's whatever. I mean, Mr. World is setting up a fight, and it is funny. Like, I call this the scenario of heating a pan of oil, all right? And every 20 years, they just throw a glass of water into it, and they see where the shit goes.
So you have the truth without being polarized one way or the other. Don't worry about sounding weird, Pinkel. You're already cooler than anyone talking about this stuff.
Well,
And
that's
you
good.
got your own brand and style. Just get this video done and take a break. Just study astrology, listen to stoic and motivation speeches. Our questions have been asked, we'll be okay.
Well, that's good. I do want to go through exegesis, though. I mean, my knowledge base will be complete once I go through exegesis and morals and dogma. So I would like to go through those books. I mean, look, I just look at all books. All right, it doesn't matter what book it is. All right, like books are just books. I mean, I find it strange, this idea of demonization of books. Anyways, like the internet age is the ultimate source of the flow of information. Okay, so that just takes care of that. Okay, we gotta move along. Okay, let's see. To learn the mysteries of death and the meaning of life. Yeah, that's a clown world over here. Okay, let's see. VC, thank you. After much, you're talking about the Liber Null, because I keep mentioning it. I really should read that book before you read it, because to review it. Just because I've read some books which are duds, like what was it? Vanessa recommended me The Art of Dreaming. It was actually a dud book until but it was more accurate than you could ever imagine, with him going through these this goddamn labyrinth of the astral realm and meeting, like, literally, I mean, he literally talks about the Saphic character, which is like the Cortana figure in Halo. It is also mentioned in this figure keeps showing up over and over and over in like a lot of popular culture. She's shown in Cyberpunk. She's shown in Johnny Mnemonic. Like this figure, this female Saphic, is a real thing, and so is this Demiurge thing. I mean, there's a lot to this idea of the control of this collective subconscious, which is symbolized through the egregore entity of Sophia, also this demiurgic figure of the architect, or this idea of the blind idiot god and the reality generation machine. So, well, let's see. I think the finger of the mouth. Okay, let me explain this. Okay, so this is basic symbolism. It's in Kabbalion.
Ryan D. Lyon. 3 days ago. I think the finger on the lips and the indent it leaves is an agreement to also not tell the secrets of illumination.
You know, I can't really answer that just because it would be revealing a certain mystery. I'll give you a hint. In the movie Mr. Nobody, the Angels of Oblivion puts their finger over their lips and marks them on their whatever. Whatever do. I mean, this is like an old mystery thing. It's literally just telling you to be silent so you can see what's going on. Because a lot of times, what stops people is their own personal perspective. All right, so they should shut the fuck up and listen. Really, I mean, that's what it means. Okay, whatever, dude. Okay, and I'm gonna take a quick break just so I can load up the other videos. All right, so I'll be right back. Alright, my dudes, so we're back. So this is from Kintsugi Kami, who's trying to tell me to be more positive. So, okay.
Kintsugi came.
He's
4 days ago.
Yep.
Yo. Turtle boi here turtle. I've been lurking here and there.
That's
Bored
good.
as she eat lol. And
Okay, if you're bored of shit, you're not fascinated by the distraction of the screen, you're not looking at it, you're not analyzing it, then that's a good thing. Alright, the screen is poison for the mind.
I've been lurking here and
It's there to, antagonize you.
I've been
Like literally a Lucia extraction machine.
I've been lurking here and there. Bored as she eat lol. And I have a simple question.
Yes.
The doom and gloom is entertaining and all, and
Yeah, it is very entertaining. In fact, the doom and gloom actually morph the physical structure of your brain. Like people who are addicted to hate bait or hate news or negative news, it literally morphs your brain and causes a animalistic form of aggression because you feel like you're in constant danger, which is why doom and gloom, because it affects you at the lower chakra. I showed that chakra chart 1,000 times. Look, it's a lower chakra base, red chakra, makes you act in an animalistic way of emotion. So you do not think, and morphs and it taps into the reptilian side of your brain. That's why it's very fascinating, this doom and gloom, and why all the truthers literally, especially the economics collapse, you know, the Chicken Little, the sky is falling, oh, if you take the magical elixir, you're going to get Minecraft. Yes. That's why it works. I mean, this is literally, obvious propaganda.
the doom and gloom is entertaining and all, and you keep saying it's over for humanity.
Yes, I do say it's over for humanity. It's been over for humanity for a long time, all right, since the hijacking of reality. Really, since the fall of Atlantis, if you want to get down to it.
The doom and gloom is entertaining and all, and you keep saying it's over for humanity, but we don't really care about that, right?
Yeah, I don't care. So it doesn't affect me because I do not identify as a human. I identify as a spirited being who's having a human experience. So what's the problem, all right? Like, a lot of my fronting for doom and gloom is just there for lulls the entertainment, all right? Like when I play doomer music, like you see how I do like little chibi anime goof off. I remember this one. I was pretending to fall asleep. Who woke me up from my beauty slumber? I mean, come on, man. I mean, this is just entertainment, shits and giggles for me, all right? Like, every community that I watch is for shits and giggles. Like, I don't view any community as really trying to find an answer. Not the MGTOW, not the Black Pill people, not the woke people, not these alternative culture people, not the truthers, nobody, all right? Because the answers are simple. They were presented by high thinkers from, like, the 60s and 70s, all right? But no one, it's really thought modality of the mind. No one can think in, like, this way anymore. It's a very old-fashioned to think in systems, really.
The doom and gloom is entertaining and all, and you keep saying it's over for humanity, but we don't really care about that, right?
No.
LOL, we should be beyond that.
Yeah,
On a positive note,
Mhm.
what's the best case scenario for us? How do we pull up our proverbial lawn chairs and just enjoy the clown show for what it is these upcoming years?
Dude, I'm enjoying it right now. Right, we're getting the shit show. Like, I make a channel for entertainment. Like, when the Matrix, that's why I'm here. It's because of the goddamn Matrix. All right, I need to break down the Matrix 4. So you do not waste your goddamn next 10 years of your life. Like, the start progenitor of the truth community. The truth community started from the Matrix movie because it was the MGTOWs who started the red pill movement, because they realized that marriage is a scam, and then feminism was on the rise. Really, that's where they take the red pill or be a blue pill cuck. Okay, like all the truth community stuff comes from the red pill who got scammed by the pickup artists who took them for the money, because they're like, oh, girls only care about your personality and how you project game, so now you gotta change your appearance with fancy clothes and running game, when reality, I mean, girls have always cared about looks. They just didn't say it because it's like men didn't understand women. This is lower chakra animal needs, but now it's moved up the ladder. All right, this whole Great Awakening has been a systematic chakra upgrade from, like, each stage where people realize, oh, the dating game is rigged, oh, the career game is rigged, oh, the food system is rigged because of McDonald's and stuff, whatever. Oh, the education system is rigged. Oh, the media is rigged. Oh, look, this is literally this is a natural cycle of the quote-unquote Great Awakening, as the rate of information exchange has multiplied on a geometric fashion, like beyond exponential. This is natural. So,
On a positive note, what's the best case scenario for us? How do we pull up our proverbial lawn chairs and just enjoy the clown show for what it is these upcoming years?
so just chill out.
I think I have...
I mean, my favorite form of entertainment is watching the truthers, all right? Like, I love watching the truther community. It's so entertaining to me. Like, I could literally make a channel doing anything else, but I choose to make a channel watching the truther community flop and flintle around with their analysis of the screen and saying, we're the only real spirited human beings, or blah, blah, blah. Look, man, it's funny to me, all right?
I think I have my own answer, but I just wanted to remind everyone not to take things so seriously.
Yeah, look, in the words of the Joker, why so serious? Okay? I mean, Batman tells you there's a lot of stuff in Batman. Like, Batman 1, 2, and 3 is literally... I mean, Christian Bale does a lot of Masonic movies. Like, that is the story of the initiate when he trains under Ra's al Ghul, of the adept when he fights against the Joker and counters his shadow, and that of the master when he encounters someone of equal skill, which is Bane, and he has to face the master, the true master, which is the shadow of Ra's al Ghul at the end, and why the motivations of Ra's al Ghul is the burning down of Gotham City as the reset. I mean, this is more, I mean, that movie is a lot, like, why, I mean, a lot of this stuff of why it's happening is because of, why I can't talk so much about Batman right now. Batman trilogy tells you a lot. And also, I believe that I haven't watched Christopher Nolan's other movie, Tenet, so.
I think I have my own answer, but I just wanted to remind everyone not to take things so seriously,
Yeah, dude,
especially as things get wackier. It's good to be aware of what's coming. but ultimately...
Look, the stuff that's happening on the screen is merely my football, alright? I do things for myself on my own free time. I pursue my own passions and I help people move along, alright? My main priority is for people to not take this too seriously, and realize this is one big clown show, okay?
It's good to be...
Like, a lot of people waste their lives, like, thinking that the truth community is any viable solution to what is going on outside. It is not. It is token resistance. All right, people talk about controlled opposition and who is a shill and who's not. The entire community, token resistance, so that they can be easily crushed, all right, and be used as a scapegoat, so that the system going forward has, you know, a cause to exist. All right, this is the story of the wolf and the lamb. The wolf needs the lamb just like the lamb needs the wolf. Okay.
It's good to be aware of what's coming, but ultimately it's all just theater in the end.
Yep, kabuki theater.
Enjoy it for what it is. Yep. Fix up your reality bubble as best you can and just chill out.
Whoa, fix your reality bubble. See, this is key. This is key what you said. So why are all the truthers telling their subscribers to go be homeless? Just go be homeless. To destroy their reality bubble. To alienate themselves from their friends and family. To look crazy. Why? Loosh.
Enjoy it for what it is. Fix up your reality bubble as best you can and just chill out and enjoy the show. Smiling face with sunglasses, beach with umbrella, tropical drink.
Thank God you get it.
P.S. Marvel's Eternals trailer dropped your gang sign. If it's the...
Yep, they dropped my gang sign. Front row seats to the end of the world. I say that all the time, just like in Cyberpunk 2077. I said, get out of jail free card. And Johnny Silverhand said that. You know, I drop a lot of gang signs to see if people can get what I'm referring to. But it's whatever. I mean, I love dropping gang signs. It's funny.
P.S. Marvel's Eternals trailer dropped your gang sign. If it's the end of the world, at least we have front row seats. Hee nerd face.
Yay. Okay, there's Golden Phoenix. Yay, new bunny face owl. Yay. Oh my god, so cute. Yay. Okay, well, I will be bringing the avatar. I might bring other avatars. I have, like, Alien. I have a bunch of avatars. I got Dracula. I mean, I just do this for the funs, okay? Like, VTubing is funny, okay? Okay, I feel more memes is coming. I can definitely go back to memes. Remember when I made meme commercials, like Patriot Food Buckets? I can make a bunch of memes, okay? Memes are funny, so... Okay, Ryan the Line, just curious, think about... Okay, well, I'll answer your question again, Ryan the Line, just because you have a lot of questions for some reason. Okay, but yes, memes are coming again. I'm going back to full meme town.
Just curious, I think you implied that you thought H.P. Lovecraft saw some of that stuff in the astral realm.
Of course he did. H.P. Lovecraft, he lived in his attic. He had access to libraries and books which no one really has access to anymore because his grandfather owned a private library. I mean, you know, I was in the same predicament as H.P. Lovecraft. Okay, I lived in the attic in my old house. I used to sweat and like, get really hot, and at night these weird stuff would happen and get taken into the night by these Cthulhu-like archonic beings. Yes, the same thing that happened to H.P. Lovecraft happened to me, which is why I don't see goddamn angels or funny stuff in the astral. I see goddamn weird-ass geometry, mandalas, and like these weird-ass beings. I mean, what I see is more similar to what H.P. Lovecraft sees, and what I think H.P. Lovecraft sees is literally the void of the darkness of insanity.
Just curious, I think you implied...
Which is literally the chaos realm, and the chaos cosmic complete. And we are in the realm of order, really, so...
Just curious, I think you implied that you thought H.P. Lovecraft saw some of that stuff in the astral realm. Yes. Have you ever seen anything like that, or have you heard any references in other places of any of that stuff?
Yes, I have seen it. There's a bunch of references, like for example, Valis, what Philip K. Dick talks about. I mean, that would also be this idea of the grand organizational design, and its other form. It is called, Azathoth, the demon sultan, the blind idiot god that sits at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. There's references to in secret society stuff like the Grand Black Lodge, which resides the deepening set of the great unconsciousness. I mean, I've even heard rumors of the reason why Lucifer, the actual higher dimensional being Lucifer, went insane is because he and his cohort of angels thought they were tough guys and tried to venture out into the void of the Cthulhu world, because they were trying to purify the realms, and this is what caused this taint of darkness, which led to, I mean, this is a wild story, but I don't really talk about this being thing that people would, callously call as Lucifer. I mean, it's Lucifer, which is of Venus, and it's Ahriman of Mars. But this being thing literally went to the realm of the chaos, of the void, of the darkness. And this is like the quote-unquote abyss, all right? And he did not come out the same, okay? And that's, I mean, whatever. I mean, that's more of a strange story, like the, whatever, dude. Okay, whatever, I gotta skip talking about that. I mean, that is not something I want to talk about. I mean, that was literally reported to me by a white Buddhist. So, I mean, remote viewers, they do say a lot if you pay attention. So, I mean, he literally saw goddamn Lucifer at the goddamn, I think it was like, it was either an equinox or a solstice when the veils were, bound, so the energies canceled out and you could see into the spirit realm, and this being appeared before him.
Jose Jimenez. 4 days ago. What's up, Pink?
What up?
I got some questions.
Yes.
A bit random or dumb, but I'm curious. What are your thoughts on the Sator Square?
Okay.
2.
That's an easy
Any
question.
practical exercises, a clearer, more focused state?
Okay, Sator Square, it is found in a lot of places. It's people say, oh, these people were practicing Christianity and worshiping Jesus during the time of the pagan eras, and they had to hide for they were the true Christians. No, not at all. There's more references that could be Mithraic or Baalic cults. What is it? It's that thing I talk about. It's Christopher Nolan's movie, which is Tenet. It is, I've said it before, it's Rotas, Opera, Tenet, Arepo, and Sator, which literally translates to he who holds the works of that of the farmer in conjunction of Saturn upon the wheels, which means that you are supposed to do the wheels of the, you're supposed to do the works upon in accordance to Saturn, as the farmer for, upon the wheel of transmigration, soul of death. People think it's like, Greek, Roman. They say it's Mithraic. Look, long story short, it goes to Egyptian. It goes back much further. Its obvious referencing is as the farmer. It's literally that of, Kronos or the farmer. If you're talking about masonry, it's the story of the path of Cain, which I showed in my astrology. There's the story of, the bloodline of Cain and the bloodline of Abel. Cain was the farmer. He created the fruits of his labor through the hard sweat of the brow of his labor through the soil to bring, fruit by labor. Right? And what did Abel do? Abel killed an animal and sacrificed it to a quote-unquote, look, this is from their point of view, I'm just saying it, to an insane god, which is the demiurge who worships sacrifice and death, right? And then Cain is the one who gets punished. Well, whatever, dude. I mean, this is the path of Cain. There's a story of Cain in relationship to Hiram Abiff and Adon Hiram. I mean, just more masonry stuff, which is why I don't talk about it. But long story short, you got to do works to present to Saturn when you die for the transmigration of the soul at death. It goes back to Egypt. If we really want to talk about this idea of Saturn or Kronos, it's really, you're talking about Osiris in his highest venerated form. I mean, Saturn, even in the Vedic, Saturn gives birth to Yama, the Lord of Death, Lord of Karma, which is why in everything I've read, you really have to go through the moon and Saturn to escape the Saturn moon matrix, which is why David Icke and all these truth tards demonize the moon and Saturn. You have to go through the moon, Sophia, the feminine axis, and have to present it through judgment card of the Lord of Karma. All right, if you care about this, I mean, there's a lot more to this idea of the Rotas Square, and even if you transpose it against the cross and it says Nostra, whatever, and it says, oh, it's our Father, also all Father, like in the Nordic of, Odin. I mean, look, long story short, all the religions were connected at one point, all right? They were just separated through the confusion of language, right? Hint, Tower, Babel, whatever, dude. I mean, if you care about this, I mean, I try to talk about this, but people just don't get it. This is why I say it's, I say it's spiritual appropriation, which is the whole point of, how later Christianity just stole and basically canonized everything to their own thing, really. Even the saints, if you want to get down to it. But whatever, dude. Like when I look at all works, I look at it from the basis of its hermetic point of view, or its alchemical interpretations as an allegory. But whatever, dude. I mean, that's really the Saturn square. It's basically a gang sign saying that this is your golden ticket to present to the Lord of Karma at death because you did good works and now you're cashing out, right? And it's to signify that you're part of a certain group, okay? I mean, what more can I say? Okay, so that takes care of the Saturn square. Look, man, I could go in depth about the Saturn square, but personally, I didn't really care about it. So, I mean, I can just read, what I would, I mean, it's even wasn't it goddamn representing that magical guy Levi who did the whole whatever, dude. I believe it was on his gravestone, whatever. Okay, let's see. Talking cheat codes. Okay, this is Muska saying that it's kind of silly that I would think that you would need the authority of the church to get a religious exemption. Look, man, for the record, I mean, I'm in the Boston area. I talk to a lot of Catholics. The Boston Archdiocese has a order not to give anyone religious exemption. All right, they give them counseling. Every Catholic person that I know in my area, because look, you have to think it from a normal point of view. They're going to go to their priest first, all right? Just like an atheist is going to go to their doctor first, all right, for advice, because people in general, they're slaves to authority, all right? And all the Catholics I know, I mean, they got the magical elixir, all right, because their priest will not give them an exemption. Like, this is how it works in the real world, all right? Not a lot of people are smart enough to write their own exemption because they're going to defer to their authority figure first. So I did not think it was very silly for me to teach people how to write a religious exemption if you really were interested. Okay, let's see. I couldn't. Oh, words one. Okay, hold on. Okay. I mean, I do feel bad for the Catholics I know in my area, because like seriously, that's messed up.
I couldn't word this properly, so sorry for the spurg sentences, cowboy hat face.
No problem.
1. Is the local verse Devilin, ascended being, who made it to the center of the Milky Way galaxy and...
Yes. If you want to talk about like the secret societies, they believe that when you fully go on upon the transmigration of the soul and hit the highest point of ascension elevation, you basically become your own demiurge, whatever, and this is a fractal creation where you create your own realm universe, but it has its own limitations because of your natural limitations due to your imagination, which is why you break out yourself into a billion other parts so that you can think and solve problems. I never really talked about what happens after death and the transmigration of the soul and its relationship to this idea of ascension process. I mean, look, man, I mean, you can believe whatever you want, but the secret societies believe this then. I mean, there might be something to it. It's also referenced in Theosophy and Alice Bailey. So yes, for example, if you're a secret society boy, eventually you want to hit to the point where you're a golden master. If you're a golden master, then if you do the bidding of the demiurge, of the local demiurge, then you too can become a demiurge of your own reality, okay? And that's how it goes, okay? This is the expansion of a thought, reality, imagination, where you make your quote-unquote own reality, or you can go back to the state you were before you were born, all right? Back to the all source instead of becoming a demiurge. People become demiurges for their own selfish reasons, okay? Or what may seem like infinite intelligence and its way of doing things. Look, man, as far as I'm concerned, I want to go back to what I was before I was born, okay?
Is the local verse Devilin, ascended being, who made it to the center of the Milky Way galaxy and fractured himself into his own local Earth realm?
Yes. This fracturing is out to Saturn and to the Milky Way galaxy, so there's different points of contention. If you listen to Gnosticism, I mean, Sophia birthed Demiurge because she was an ascended being and wanted to create something that she saw, which is she saw the all and tried to create the all, right? Which is why the demiurge is the devil. It's a falsification of God. But this God all thing uses the devil, the demiurge, for its own purposes as a prosecutor, which is why in the ancient version of the devil was not seen as a negative thing. It was seen as a prosecutor, a lord of karma. The lord of karma is mentioned in old Christianity as the devil. Right, that is what the Lord of Karma is there. He's very fair. He plays by very specific rules, contracts. All right, he likes to play. Okay, and you just need to play honestly to beat him. You cannot cheat an honest man. That's a rule saying. But then they also, I mean, the problem is that they basically scrubbed Sophia, or this Isis figure, from a lot of history, so people don't understand her motivations. Like I always tell you, the real prize is Sophia, the collective subconsciousness, and how people can hijack it or use it or bribe Sophia for X effect, okay?
Is the local verse devil an ascended being who made it to the center of the Milky Way galaxy and fractured himself into his own local Earth realm?
Yeah, you mean Sophia's abortion?
While the Big Daddy Spider is the creator of the Milky Way.
The Daddy Spider, okay. Well, the Demiurge is, well, the Demigurgus is Jupiter. The Demiurge is, would be Saturn, I guess, really, if you want to get down to it. Then I don't know if I should really talk about Uranus, Uranus. I mean, this is the idea. I mean, there's the idea of the multiple suns. There's the fake sun, the false sun that you see. There's the esoteric sun. There's the sun of, you know, Neptune. There's the sun of Uranus, which leads to the spirit realm. This is also in the Kabbalistic tree of the Sephiroth. There's a lot to this, even in this idea of the Milky Way. So at the bottom, the center of the Milky Way galaxy is this projection of, you know, Jabulon. Jabulon, I am the Lord of form. On, it is called many names. The god of Mendes, you know, Pratibida, of changes forms. It is a form-based being. Its projection is dependent upon those who can see this thing. I mean, my master is seen as the grand organizational design at the center. It is referenced as the architect of, you know, the local universe. I mean, but there is the supreme architect. I mean, there's different gradations if you really want to get down to it, but it is merely the form manifestation of the all. So therefore, it is the lesser AI-like creation. Okay. I mean, you know, didn't I just point this out? It's literally in this Great Awakening chart. Okay, let's see. Hold on. God damn it. God damn you, Beansburger. Damn you. Okay, let's see. Artificial intelligence. The signal coming from the Demiurge, originally part of the whatever. Okay, so this is the one infinite creator. Okay, that's Jabulon. Okay, so this would be like Saturn to Demiurge. One infinite creator. This is Jabulon, the architect. And Jabulon, the architect, comes from the mystery of the universal creation, which is literally the supreme architect in its unformless state, which is source, which is the whole sourcing of the number system of the one, the law of one, the law of all. Okay, think of this as order and chaos. Like whenever they say order out of chaos, this would be chaos, the chaos cosmic complete that SQS talks about. Okay, the darkness of the void of the black light, which is the containment of all formations, really. So that's why form itself is a limitation based on rule obstructions, which needs chaos to stem from, which is why even in the Buddhists they call it the darkness of the void light, which stems and creates all light, because that darkness is the combination of lights beyond the light spectrum. If you want to get down to it, I mean, this is pretty difficult to talk about.
While the Big Daddy Spider is the creator of the Milky Way. Or is it more like...
Yeah, creator of the Milky Way, yes. Daddy Spider, yes. It's like a web that traps, you know, spirits here for its own experience. I mean, people want to say it's a school, a prison. I say it's a carnival or an amusement park. Like, I think a carnival or a Disney realm analogy is the best way to understand the Milky Way galaxy and the trap predicament that you're in, which actually has basis. You know, it relates to the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Egyptian Book of the Dead, Robin Monroe's trilogy, Journeys Out of the Body, especially. So, I mean, to me, it's relatively simple. So,
or is it?
And it even manifests in the middle realm on forms. Like, for example, the Hungry Ghost realm. It's pre-predicated or pre-fronted by the people who end up in the Hungry Ghost realm, like these people who are like 600 pounds and eats McDonald's every day. Or the Hell realms is, you know, obviously the people who do commit violent acts of crime. If you want to talk about the demigods realm, that's the sociopaths, psychopaths, or dark wizards. The gods realm is the people who did their best. Ooh, I mean, that's why the Baba Chakra is very illustrative, and it's even reflected into the material world, which reflects upon you exiting out of the material world and you experiencing your quote-unquote what you deserve after death. It's work out your, you know, karma, really, or your action-reaction causality loop.
Or is it more like the local verse devil is a lesser aspect of Big Daddy? I remember you said
Local verse devil would be Saturn, but that's not a bad thing. All right, if you actually play by the game and don't try to cheat the devil, then you'll have a good time. Most people try to cheat the devil or cheat themselves. Okay, this is why in the ancient version of View of the Devil, he was not necessarily negative. All right, he was just he was just an asshole. All right, but that's the whole point. All right, like Saturn, he is about accountability.
I remember you.
I mean, most people want to play the Jupiterian and just blow money and go on vacations route. Okay, like I like the idea of getting the shit kicked out of me, so I learn a lesson.
I remember you said before people have met the devil who looks just like the J-Man, so is that a being who made...
Yes, I have heard that. Well, the real J-Man, if you want to know, he looks like the he's a red-haired Essene, really. But I have heard that multiple people have met, the devil or the corrupted version of Lucifer, and he looks strangely like what people classically view as Jesus, and then they put this figure picture everywhere in religious iconography. But I mean, this is merely a contention point because that depiction of the J-Man is really from the Roman. And then if you want to get down to it, even Philip K. Dick, when he talks about exegesis, the Roman Empire always existed, or it's an invasion for another realm. I mean, that's what Philip K. Dick talks about. That is literally the Roman Empire is the hijacking reality through martial ideas, like this idea of Mars and Jupiter. I mean, there's a lot to this idea of Mars, Jupiter, and the Sun. So, I mean, it should be obvious with the Roman Empire. But even the Roman Empire, it is of martial order. It is through discipline. You can learn a good lesson from the Roman Empire, but most people do not choose to learn a good lesson from it, right? They'd rather sink into the debauchery or the feel-good of being a Roman citizen or an American citizen. All right, this repeats over and over again.
I remember you said before people have met the devil who looks just like the J-Man, so is that a being who made it to the center and his long-term transformation was taking on the crazy aspects of the big spider, i.e. dualistic psycho, or is he literally a lesser...
That would be a different figure. And there's different figures, so that Luciferian figure, I mean, we have to talk about these different types of egregores. That Luciferian figure is more of an I guess we would call it an Asura from Venus. Ariamonic figure is it's like that face thing that you saw in Blind 11, the face of the demon. That was Ahriman. I mean, that would be more Mars. There's the Jupiterian idea in Saturn, but Saturn has been demonized, so it's really the false pretender to the crown who, castrated Saturn, which is Jupiter, which is the situation. I mean, this is more astrology, so I don't know if I should really talk about this. I mean, this is like high-level stuff.
I remember...
Like, really, only Levette would understand what I'm saying.
I remember you said before people have met the devil who looks just like the J-Man, so is that a being who made it to the center and his long-term transformation was taking on the crazy aspects of the big spider, i.e. dualistic psycho, or is he literally a lesser aspect of the spider himself?
Lesser aspect.
Our other star system...
He's a lesser aspect, but he got corrupted by the staring into the darkness void of oblivion. I mean... this is why the spider thing, it can be seen as many things, whether you call it this Parabrahma that takes on the aspect of the spider, this web, this weaver, this architect, this regenerative figure of the frog. There's even this idea of the predator nature of the cat, this cycling incarnation of what I would call as the blind idiot god, which is Azathoth, the demon sultan in H.P. Lovecraft. He is the dreamer. And if he awakens, then all shall be destroyed, really, because we are but a thought of his own projection. But we come from a source outside of here. We're just playing by his rules because we are guests in his Mickey Mouse theme park of Disney Realm, all right? But be aware, he is our host, and we are his guest. There are rules to the game of Dharma in Disney Realm, okay? Disney Realm is here to offer you many things if you choose to learn from it.
Or others.
I mean, Disney Realm is such a great theory that I have. So, I mean, I've talked about it like 1,000 times.
Are other star systems just ascended beings who...
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's why even there's reports that these quote-unquote stars or whatever, they can talk to each other in harmony, in harmonics of music. That's how they communicate. They are simply beings that we don't understand. They're basically ascended beings. I mean, that's why everybody says that, oh, you are a star in the sky. Yes, you technically are. It's shown in the Matrix scene where Neo meets the architect and he gets projected as a vision out through a doorway into the light through the screen as a star. This is a Gnostic idea, and it is true. I mean, people used to say that the stars themselves were pinholes and we were basically receiverships through the stars.
Are other star systems just ascended beings?
Ascended star systems themselves are like different amusement parks, all right? Like, we're in the Milky Way galaxy. This is Mickey's, amusement park. But imagine you go to like the goddamn Pleiades or whatever, and the Pleiades could be like Universal Studios. That's all it is, okay? Like, I don't want to complicate it any further.
Are other star systems just ascended beings who fractured themselves to play God?
Yes.
I remember you briefly touched on winning the game, but you never went in depth. If they are, can they not leave until all the aspects of their fractured selves are back to one? From
It depends. I mean, some beings, they want to, expand out themselves and offer their sacrifice where their source becomes different aspects of thoughts. That's why we're actually more connected than we think. You can either go out and make your own special version of Monopoly, or you can go back to the box. Right? It depends on your point of view. I mean, but the origination point of going back to everything of its original source, Monopoly box, is really where this idea of escaping samsara and going back to source really comes from. So, I mean, that's where that is the chill out route, all right? Unless you want to play God.
From a leveling up standpoint, the amount of EXP from all those experiences sounds great, but isn't it basically impossible to get out at that point, since you'd have to wait for the beings, aka aspects of you, to awaken and all that jazz?
Yes, and that's why we get this, I mean, it's in Mr. Nobody, this expansion phase of the quote-unquote universe, and this idea of how the scientists put out the quote-unquote Big Bang. It's more about the evolutionary cycle Big Bang of spirit as it projects out its will consciousness and expands out further. But there's going to be a point where this will expansion reverses and it goes back to the box, right? Like, eventually everything in the game of Monopoly goes back inside the box, and that box is source, which is, this transcendental everything of God, not some spider, not the demiurge, not Saturn, not the Lord of Karma, not Osiris. This is the law of one, the law of all, that is in Hermetics.
From a leveling up standpoint, the amount of EXP from all those experiences sounds great, but isn't it basically impossible to get out at that point, since you'd have to wait for the beings, aka aspects of you, to awaken and all that jazz? 3.
And that leads to the trap of the Bodhisattva. Because a lot of people, they want to save every soul and move them on. This is the trap. I mean, there's lots of traps when it comes to even these higher level ideas.
3. Are the Buddha realms just reality or fake reality without all the fear and confusion of what the ineffable is?
No, it's real reality. Well, it depends on how you want to view realities based on conditionings of the game. If you want to go back to like a Buddha realm, I mean, the original Buddha realm is the state you were before you were born. The state of the dark light of the beyond the rainbow, of the clear light of everything. This is where not even a thought exists, because that is, even at that point, a limitation of the spirit. Okay, this is like being in the manifest of everything and reverberation and resonance of everything. This is what this idea of true nirvana is, not this continuation of the transmigration of the soul and the furthering experience through the ascendancy of like levels. All right. I mean, and that is what, nirvana is, okay?
Are the Buddha realms just reality or fake reality without all the fear and confusion of what the ineffable is?
Yeah, there's no fear, there's no confusion, there's no separation. You are connected. What these outside realms do is they allow for an expression of will. And then, look, it's part of some strange cosmic cycle, if you want to get down to it.
Are the Buddha realms just reality or fake reality without all the fear and confusion of what the ineffable is, since true reality is the clear still oblivion? Or are the Buddha realms clear still oblivion while all the other galaxies are still a part of Disney realm on a large...
If you want to talk about, look, Disney realm has its own Disney realm verse. That would be the Milky Way galaxy. Like, I gave it a good example. The Pleiades is like Universal Studios, okay? Then you can pick another star system, whatever, as like goddamn Nintendo World, okay? Each one has its own offerings and uniqueness, but eventually it goes down to the existence of, this point before its expansion. So
Are the Buddha realms just reality or fake reality without all the fear and confusion of what the ineffable is, since true reality is the clear, still open?
For the record, fear is caused by ignorance. The cause of all of our suffering is because of our scarcity-based model, which is the manifesting itself as greed, hatred, and ignorance. I mean, you actually look at Buddhism and what it tells you, it's very clear in telling you how to escape the cycle of incarnation, reincarnation, to solve the mystery of the life, death, rebirth cycle, to escape samsara, all right? Which is why, you know, even though I look at all this stuff, I mean, I'm glad I was born a Buddhist, right? Because then it just clicks with Buddhism. Because Buddhism, to many people, just seems like, seems strange or alien until you really understand what is going on around you. Like this, the insanity of the clown world has no effect upon that of the mind of the stillness of the Buddha. And everybody can be a Buddha if they wanted to, all right? But most people love the fascination of the attachment to life and experience via human desire or its other manifestations. If you want to talk about the transmigration of the soul as it goes from human to divinity, or in divinity to an angel or archon, and then move down that to like higher beings, whatever. I mean, to me it doesn't matter, okay? Like, I'm done with this whole goddamn this clown show and existence in general, the material form.
Are the Buddha realms just reality or fake reality without all the fear and confusion of what the ineffable is, since true reality is the clear, still oblivion? Or are the Buddha realms clear, still oblivion, while all the other galaxies are still a part of Disney realm on a larger scale? Like our Milky Way Disney realm is a copy of the original Disney realm, aka the realm.
Yes, it is a copy of the original realm.
Like our Milky Way Disney realm is a copy of the original Disney realm, aka the realms out of here / different galaxies, but they're still not true in the sense of the one.
Of course they're not true.
Or am I an idiot?
No, you're right. It's even if you want to get to the Pleiadians, whatever, or the Orion system, even that. Actually, the Orion might be something else. Look, there's something to Sirius, which is the origination source of all quote-unquote souls, really, on a limited version, because the star system Sirius has the brightest beatification of the star, but I've never really talked about that, just because if I talk about it, I have to talk about real Masonic stuff. So, I mean, look, man, it's whatever, dude, but do I care about labels? Do I care about park hopping from Disney realm to Universal Studios realm to Nintendo realm? No. All right, dude, I'm done. All right, I want to go home. All right, I'm like Dorothy, Wizard of Oz. I want to go home. I'm like Sandy Cheeks. I just want to go home, back to source. All right, where I can chill out and not deal with this whole goddamn clown show, like in any verse. Okay, so I hope that answers that for you, Rainbow Tomato. I like you because you also asked the difficult questions. I mean, we need an SQS for this. Then SQS, I mean, he's kind of right when he says, so what about the astral realms? Who cares? You're just trying to get back to the state you were before you were born, before incarnations of the material. He's technically right, even though a lot of stuff he says later is actually kind of dumb. So,
interesting.
I mean, if you believe in these things.
Interesting questions. I saw an NDE video where the guy said when he came back to this realm, it felt like...
Oh, this is from Violet.
Interesting questions. I saw an NDE video where the guy said when he came back to this realm, it felt like he was in a cartoon world and he was a...
Yep, cartoon world, Disney realm clown show, which is what a lot of people feel when they've had a near-death experience or have close to death. Like, the more times you get closer to death, the more you realize that this is some cartoon illusion, that you are playing a Sims game where you are the hero of your own story, the hero's journey, in first-person perspective, which is why the first thing you need to do is go into third-person perspective, so that you know that you're playing a game in the first place, and this isn't really real, but your sim avatar does have a connection to the spirit, which is the player. Like, even the player is reflected upon, the sim avatar that they're playing. So that is still important. Just because it's not real doesn't mean it's real. It's not real in perspective to the sim avatar, which is why you should at least try to respect the game that you're playing while you're playing it in the now. Okay, this is why this is the aspect of the player as above, so below. Your sim avatar character as below. The sim avatar character at its point of death will give a score of Loosh, whatever, to the player who is done playing the game and has to present his scorecard to Mickey Mouse, who is basically the judge of whether or not you play the game right, okay? This is more of a video game than you think, all right? If you want to cash out your prizes, you go meet up with Sophia, who is like a Disney princess, whatever, who is basically, you know, you want to play again with a better life circumstances with Mickey? Oh, just go right ahead. Or you want to, whatever, do. I mean, this is more, I mean, I've talked about this 1,000 times, okay?
Interesting questions. I saw an NDE video where the guy said when he came back to this realm, it felt like he was in a cartoon world and he was a cartoon character himself. It took a while for him to feel normal again.
Oh,
this
good.
was
I've
after
talked
the
about this
interviewer
before.
asked him how real his NDE experience felt.
Yeah, dude, it's a cartoon show. I mean, I've also talked about similar things. Like, I've talked about how I've seen, like, projections of reality as a movie. Like, I've had visions or dreams where I'm watching a goddamn movie in a movie theater. I mean, this is also common. It's even reflected into the movie Lost and that Katy Perry when they were in a movie theater staring at a screen, which is also reflected in the Scientology episode of South Park. What is it, Trapper Keeper, where the aliens... I mean, there's lots of Scientology, even though my Yoda Master says it's the darkest of the dark. It's because there's actually a lot of truth to it, because it comes from the source of magical books. So, I mean, look, I mean, it's reflected everywhere, okay? You just need to pay attention. Like that scene with Katy Perry in the movie theater, okay? I mean, even the Jains or whatever, the ancient Hindus talk about this idea of projection of reality as a projection of light, an illusion. A light-based, you know, illusion of waves.
Dark glasses, Woody. 5 days ago. I am embarrassed to confess that I did not even consider that they were fates. I had thought they were performing something akin to a secretarial function and...
Yeah, okay, so you saw the fates of the video game, so that's cool. I mean, I can't believe you saw the fates. I mean, they're the fates who sits at the bottom of the tree of Yggdrasil. Where, you know, Odin is hung upside down, like in the tarot card of the Hanged Man, and Alethea is there. I mean, there's also Nidhogga. But whatever, I mean, yeah, you saw the fates. I mean, this is also reflected in a lot of religions.
I had thought they were performing something akin to a secretarial function and recording events in some kind of universal language. I am very grateful to have found this channel.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I'm glad you're here. I mean, you did find this channel late. Okay, so I mean, I should not have talked about this idea of the goblin and Prometheus. So this is the story of Alethea.
So a goblin is represented as the devil?
Look, I never really talked about the devil. You want to talk about the manifestation of the devil? Like, really, from what I heard, even SQS mentions this, like he is some sort of devilish figure who is at the center of the earth, in the inner earth. I mean, look, long story short, I don't really want to talk about this. He's like the mad scientist, which causes all the problems of humanity that manifests up onto the surface world. He is manifested as the Wizard of Oz, all right? Which is why in the Wizard of Oz, he is the green dragon that spits out fire. He is an illusion of materiality. I mean, there's a lot to this idea of the devil. If you want to talk about the devil in its, you know, true material form onto this plane, he is, you know, the king of the world and king of the inner earth.
So a goblin is represented as the devil?
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting. Quick goblin encounter story. In Meditationa, Yellow Brick Road appeared and I sat and watched this 2D yellow light road.
That's normal. So it's like astral traveling. You'll see like geometric fashion figures. So, I mean, this is natural in the astral realm when you travel through it.
In Meditationa, Yellow Brick Road appeared and I sat and watched this 2D yellow light road. Like a screensaver with a game of Snake where it eats apples and grows. Except yellowish and no obstacles or apples. To my surprise, a small goblin with your typical huge nose appeared out of a black portal.
That's more of a machine elf. It's not necessarily the devil, but you could also view it as that. I mean, it could have been the devil. You know, but using the devil as a term is very loose. Things are much more nuanced than they appear when it comes to the astral or spirit terminology.
A small goblin with your typical huge nose appeared out of a black portal. Hee 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 ha 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 hee hee. It was obvious he wanted me to go with him.
Look, a dummy would have followed him, and you know what? You saw it in its goblin form. It didn't have to manifest in that way. It's projecting out. What it did is it's projecting out curiosity to you. For some people, they could have seen it as an alluring woman, ooh, and then you're gonna follow her to their. If you're on different levels, you're gonna see things based on their true form. So this is probably its true machine elf-like form. I mean, but it's not really machine elf because this thing has consciousness. If you read what is the Gateway Project analysis by the Department of the Army with Robert Monroe, he says if you encounter these lower consciousness beings, you should create an air balloon of your own making and float away from these things. Just like the Wizard of Oz did in the movie The Wizard of Oz, okay, when he floated up the hot air balloon. Okay, I mean,
I ignored him.
I mean, there's so much into the Wizard of Oz that people do not notice.
I ignored him. Thinking it was just as weird as the 2D yellow light road I was tracking, lol. But he kept popping up with his black portal.
Yeah.
Instinctively I knew that the goblin couldn't be trusted.
Yeah, you should go on the road that is straight and narrow. Follow the yellow brick road. Everybody says this, alright?
Instinctively I knew that the goblin couldn't be trusted. So I had to tell him to piss off even if it meant breaking my concentration. Anyway. You mentioned the green portal before, but what is the black portal? Where would have it lead?
The black portal is chaos, curiosity. Where it would have led is down the rabbit hole of, you know, Alice in Wonderland, retard land, okay? Long story short.
Where would have it lead? Any extra lore behind the yellow light road?
Yes.
Back to my canopy.
Look, there's a lot to the side of the yellow light road. It's mentioned in Dune. It is the golden path. The path that few can take. The path that I could not take, even though I was Muad'Dib. It is the path. I mean, look, it's a goddamn Children of Dune. All right, it's literally called the Golden Path. Okay, it's mentioned everywhere in like religion. Like if you go back that far.
Back to my canopy.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so Ryan DeLine, you would actually follow it. That's not a good move. All right, you know these other conscious beings. They're not necessarily you. All right, if you're talking about what is reflections of you, that it only happens in your reflections when you upon death, really, when you go upon the journey of the dead. In the astral realm, when you encounter certain things, they're not necessarily you. They have their own consciousness forms. So let's get that straight. Like, this is literally Stranger Danger 101. Okay, but I'll play this. Okay, only because it's a weird question to...
EXT time. I suggest no matter what it is, give into it and learn to love it.
No, that is like learning to love your rapist or your murderer. No. This is like learning to love your stranger that takes your children. No, there is such a stranger danger in the astral realms. I would not suggest this. This is not your journey in the dead where you're being escorted by the Harakas and the Buddhas and Astras and Devas, which is projections of you upon the experience of your journey. Do not do this in the living, alright? You should only reflect upon this at the point when you die. There's a big difference here, alright?
EXT.
The fact that he didn't follow it is a good thing. Like, you know, this is why you're far behind Ryan DeLine, okay? Like, there's very specific rules that one should be adhering to when it comes to the traveling of, you know, I mean, you would call this locale 2 in Robert Monroe's works.
EXT time. I suggest no matter what it is, give into it and learn to love it. Remember, we can't be judging whether things are evil or good based on the way they look.
Yeah, but you can ask simple questions. Like, you know, in the astral realm, they can't really lie to you because you can feel their vibration. So, for hypothetically, if you wanted to follow it upon the rabbit hole to mystery land of woo-woo, then I would suggest you speak to it.
EXT.
If you want to, but I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, I would not suggest you do this.
EXT.
It's literally there to, you know, take you off your path.
EXT time. I suggest no matter what it is, give into it and learn to love it. Remember, we can't be judging whether things are evil or good based on the way they look. I shouldn't even be telling you this, but what if that was your test? To maintain your concentration no matter what, learn to love and accept and abolish the fear of this goblin thing. It dare may have shown you something. P.S. Your single comment on this video raised up a lot in me, so I really appreciate it. Also, the black portal, I would say, is just an aspect of your unconscious mind.
That is technically true. It's an aspect of your unconscious mind that leads to realms of chaos, which is entertaining. It's fascinating.
Also, the black portal, I would say, is just an aspect of your unconscious mind. Because the portal itself, I would say, it wasn't really the important part. That's why it's dark. It's not leading anywhere. The important part was this goblin. I also think maybe
the goblin was a lower consciousness being. You would have to read Robert Monroe's works or understand his analysis by the Gateway Project. He literally tells you, if you encounter these things, do not follow it. Create a hot air balloon to float away from it. These things are basically these little, I mean, people see these in the material world, like these balls of like Cthulhu like things that drain your loosh. It just wants your loosh. It wants your light, alright?
I also think maybe you were...
Like, this is the problem with you, Ryan DeLine, because you're very far behind. Like, I would not recommend this at all.
I also think maybe you were just meant to ignore the goblin no matter what. It seems like it's a really good lesson. Keep on the path. The yellow path, which represents all that you want. It represents greater knowledge, because the yellow, as we know, is the color of knowledge and wisdom. And
the color yellow is the color of the actualization of the soul. The color of knowledge is blue. And then there's something else with the silver. This is why in Masonry, the colors that they worship is, what is it, silver, gold, and blue, for a very specific reason, okay?
I also think maybe you were just meant to ignore the goblin no matter what. It seems like it's a really good lesson. Keep on the path. The yellow path, which represents all that you want. It represents greater knowledge, because the yellow, as we know, is the color of knowledge and wisdom in the occult. That's why we see the older monks wear yellow. Keep on it no matter what distractions get in your way. I would actually suggest you do that first. I'm wondering if you can expect your distractions to grow stronger and stronger on the side.
The distractions grow bigger because you basically become a homing beacon for these lower consciousness entities, like this goblin thing. And this goblin thing was not your friend. It wanted your light. It wanted like that goddamn look. It just wanted your light. Okay, I mean, I've heard about these stories before, and okay, so I would suggest you don't do what Ryan DeLine mentioned. So, but you know, literally, okay, whatever. Okay, let's look. I'm just gonna go through regardless of how late it is, just because I need to get the comments done. So,
Violet Turtle. 5 days ago, edited. At Golden Orangutan. Interesting that your comment got shadowed. So glad Kevin showed it in this video. You summarized this game perfectly. It matches with the progression of this channel. Kevin has been saying all these things all along.
Yep, I've been saying it from the very beginning of my channel, if you notice.
You summarized this game perfectly. It matches with the progression of this channel. Kevin has been saying all these things all along, but I only recently realized that when we dream we astral project.
Yeah, that's true. When you dream, you astral project, right? That's where you go to recharge your soul, so then you can play this game.
You summarized this game.
In psychology, you recharge your libido, which is your creative energy, which starts off as sexual energy, and you're supposed to let it condense or rise based on your wants and desires. This is called the rise into Kundalini. So if you let it, consolidate into, let's say, the blue one, then you can do creative things. But if you let it consolidate into red, then you do violent action. This is libido, through the charging of the will desire of humans, through sleeping.
You summarized this game perfectly. It matches with the progression of this channel. Kevin has been saying all these things all along, but I only recently realized that when we dream we astral project. I really appreciate Kevin's cheat codes. You've made me realize why I can't get enough of Kevin's videos.
Yeah, this is the problem. I mean, my videos like astral crack. Like, you guys cannot get enough of the things I talk about. It's, that's why I really don't think I should talk about these things. So.
You've made me realize why I can't get enough of Kevin's videos. Every time I watch them, I connect new dots. It's so true about not understanding things until you are ready. The more I learn, the more I understand or remember.
That's
you
good.
also helped me organize my thoughts and helped me realize it about where I am at in this game so far. I am happy you are part of this channel.
Okay, we're all at different stages of the game, okay? So it's not that big of a deal, regardless if you're a noob or you're in the first group of my video channel, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. So
I am happy.
Like, a lot of people say they feel that they're far behind. Look, you'll get there eventually, all right? Like, you have a whole lifetime to get this, okay? Like, I only have, like a year or two to continue this channel going before I actually have to do other stuff, okay? So, like, my time teaching people this is short, but you have a lifetime to learn. It's not that big of a deal.
I am happy you are part of this channel. You must be new. Welcome. I listened to it again and had to edit my original comment.
Okay, let's keep going. So.
Spirit Free. 4 days ago. Isn't that the movie where the golden child is called Hope? And Eddie is desperately trying to save it, lol.
I don't know what movie you're referring to, but if you do, let me know, Spirit's Free. Okay. Let's keep going.
Golden Orangutan. 4 days ago. At Violet Turtle, yeah. Kevin's way above anything we could ask for, honestly. I have great compassion for him.
Okay, that's good.
I have great compassion for him.
Like sometimes I feel like I don't know if I should be doing this, to be honest. Like, you know, some people get weirded out, some people get scared, some people are thankful, some people attack me. I mean, this is the problem with knowing too much, so...
I have great compassion for him.
Yeah.
What he went through no regular being could survive. I am sure it was extreme.
Yeah, dude, I went through that for a whole goddamn year. To this day, I do not sleep a normal schedule, I swear to God. Like, you wouldn't believe the shit that I went through. Like, I don't even talk about some of the stuff I went through. Like, literally, I've met demons, like straight up demons, I swear to God.
I am sure it was extreme. But now he farts boomer rainbows. Thanks,
Yeah,
Pink.
hey, rainbows. Okay, that's good. I'm glad I got rainbow skills now. Okay, let's keep going.
Ryan D. Lion. 5 days ago.
Yes.
You know, really, my comments recently have just been me complaining.
Oh, I know.
Because I'm going against my ego by trying to start living like the Stoics. It's a threat. I'm about to go through some major changes.
You know, you're having an existential crisis. Most of the problems comes from your ego because you are a young male. Like, you want to be the hero. You want to bang a bunch of chicks. You want to save the world. This is natural. This is you trying to express your will to power, even though right now you do not have much because your knowledge basis is too low. Like, this is the difference between, you know, having the power and responsibility for it. Like, I have all the power of the universe, but I would never use it, which is why I'm glad I met you, because I was about to teach people magic, and I really should not. Like, Tian was right from the start, so, like, I'm too much of a lulzy person.
You know, really, my comments recently have just been me complaining. Because I'm going against my ego by trying to start living like the Stoics. It's a threat.
Oh, that reminds me of, what is it, Jose, look, someone asked me a question, like, how do you shield yourself using magic? Whatever you do, you need to immunize yourself, all right, with like, understanding the unconsciousness first, which is why I always recommend the book, Psychology of the Unconsciousness. That's a great book. It's very dense, so you should listen to the audiobook. Like, that's one of my #1 recommendations. Or the Upanishads. It's a Vedic text.
You know, really, my comments recently have just been me complaining. Because I'm going against my ego by trying to start living like the Stoics. It's a threat. I'm about to go through some major changes. Plus,
but didn't you just start getting a job? You need to start doing stuff first. I mean, for a while, I don't think you've been doing much, but I mean, it's whatever. I mean, you still have a lot of time. You're still young, though.
Plus, obviously, part of myself likes things that come quick and easy, and this takes some time. I'm fighting myself to keep my training wheels on.
That is a problem. Most people do not have patience or temperance to pursue this. Like, I take this to its inevitable logical conclusion, and because of my weaponized, single-minded autism. Like, the fact that I can sit and listen to an audiobook for 18 hours straight should tell you a lot about me. Like, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I could literally do an audiobook a day, all right? And that would, like, you know, it would just entertain me because I pretty much already know everything until I get to exegesis, and that's all. So
I'm fighting myself to keep my training wheels on. Also, this video inspired in me to bring up something our awareness doesn't pick up on everything that is there.
What is it?
Sometimes we need to see it first or hear it first, and even then sometimes just hearing it isn't enough. That's why
Yeah, I mean, that's why this idea of book research is not enough. So I do first-hand research. You know, I've had things experienced to me, and I data mine my subscribers who tell me their stories of weird stuff happening. All right, like, I pretty much, you know, I do first-hand research. People don't do first-hand research. They just repeat books. That's what I notice a lot. Right? They don't go on the streets to see what's going on and what's happening out in the world, or they don't look for personal accounts and explanations of the astral or even existence, really. Like, I look for consistency.
Sometimes we need to see it first or hear it first, and even then sometimes just hearing it isn't enough. That's why even though Pink gives cheat codes, sometimes the mind isn't ready to understand it.
Yeah, that's true. I've been giving cheat codes from the start of my channel, but then people have to re-listen to my videos from the beginning to get what I'm saying sometimes. It's quite ridiculous, but really, when you're ready for it, you'll see it, okay?
Sometimes we need to see it first or hear.
That's why my work is for those who, with the eyes to see and the ears to hear, okay? This is like an allegory or a parable.
Sometimes we need to see it first or hear it first, and even then sometimes just hearing it isn't enough. That's why even though Pink gives cheat codes, sometimes the mind isn't ready to understand it. Or you need to hear it a certain way or hear it on your own time.
Which is why I've repeated myself 100 times, 50 different ways, alright? For anyone to understand. And I dumb down my language as much as possible. And I don't care if you're male, female, what your race is, your skin color, your affiliation. I don't care, all right? I'm just trying to help people move on who are ready to move on.
Sometimes we need to see it first or hear it first, and even then sometimes just hearing it isn't enough. That's why even though Pink gives cheat codes, sometimes the mind isn't ready to understand it. Or you need to hear it a certain way or hear it on your own time. Then you'll realize it's always been there.
Yep.
It's like going out looking for a special pine cone that you may have only ever seen by picture. A person could scan the entire forest for hours looking for that special pine cone, but until they find one themselves, then they realize they've been around them the whole time. Now they can go back and
see, this is the problem. All I'm cheating, right? Like, you ever got a Where's Waldo book and someone circled all the Where's Waldo, like for real, and then you can't really enjoy the Where's Waldo book anymore because someone already figured it out for you? That's what I feel like I'm doing for people. Okay.
It's like going out looking for a special pine cone that you may have only ever seen by picture. A person could scan the entire forest for hours looking for that special pine cone, but until they find one themselves, then they realize they've been around them the whole time. Now they can go back and see that the pine cones are all around them.
Yep.
Our perceptions are like looking through a block of Swiss cheese.
Okay, that's good. So, okay, let's keep going. So, okay.
Ruby Owl. 5 days ago. Such a good video, Pink. And
Okay,
so
that's
many good comments as well.
All right,
A
well,
lot of awesome people here with good insight into these things. Smiling face with sunglasses.
okay, that is good. Okay, this is from Golden Honeybee. Okay. Okay.
Golden Honeybee. Golden Honeybee. 5 days ago. If someone has to take the potion of black magic, is there some white magic that can be done before the poke to counteract any negative effects?
Yeah, you know, mind over matter, right? You should be prepared mentally first. And also you should do as below, so above. You should get healthy. You should not be overweight. You can counteract this as soon as you take it, then start pretending like you just smoked weed and you have to drink a bunch of pomegranate juice and beet juice, like the organic stuff, to try to flush out your system. If you can, take antioxidants like vitamin C. What is it? Is it L-cysteine? It's one of those L things that leads to the creation of glutathione. When glutathione is a super antioxidant, which Asians use to whiten their skin. It's like skin whitening pills. I mean, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Like, people need to really, I mean, this is why they took out all the holistic doctors. So, I mean, I can't really talk too much about this, by the way.
If someone has to take the potion of black magic, is there some white magic that can be done before the poke to counteract any negative effects?
I just told you.
I know someone who may need to get it to keep health insurance, because of severe health issues.
I know.
Doctors will write exemption, but Job says they won't accept it.
Doctor will write exemption. I mean, I don't, why can't he just get a lawyer? Because then this becomes a problem of liability. But it's up to you, though. I know that a lot of people aren't even respecting these exemptions anymore. So I would still hire an employment lawyer first if it's serious, just because I understand your situation. But it's up to you, though. I mean, there's other ways, but then again, if they don't respect it, then you have to go through the route of hostile work environment in violation of the ADA, American Disability Act. Because you have a medical written exemption, then you have to basically, sue them for liability. And then, I mean, the payout would be enough, but usually the threat of filing a paperwork is enough. So, look, my suggestion is lawyer up. But if not, because no one respects the laws these days, or they try to confuse, laws and mandates, then there's other things you can do. Like, I'm very aware of how to weasel my way out of things. Okay, so I hope that answers it. So, okay. Like, seriously, like, I swear to God, like, how can people just throw out laws out of the books? Okay, this is from Mr. Atlantic. Okay, Mr. Smarty Pants. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Things are snapping into place very quickly now. The concept of the blind idiot god initially sounded offensive.
I mean, why would it be offensive? The blind idiot god is perfect. It is perfect in its description of the solidification of consensus gentium via the blind idiot will of the idiot masses. This is why the blind idiot god concept is great. Like, I should do a whole variety show explaining the blind idiot god concept in its hijacking of the consensus gentium via Sophia. which is the thought mind, this pervasive flow of thought, which is, really juiced up by the astral energies.
The concept of the blind idiot god initially sounded offensive. When you view it from the perspective of the fool, though, you see that it is a fitting description.
Yes, it's very true. Yes, Kevin is always right.
When you view it from the perspective of the fool, though, you see that it is a fitting description. To intervene directly in affairs at a subordinate scale is to fall into time, and if that were to occur, it could not be undone.
Yeah, like you don't want to inject yourself into a situation which someone has already made a decision for themselves, and it affects others. That's why I try to stay out of it, right? Which is why the elites always pre-front what they're going to do for a reason, okay? It's not just the relief of karma. It is the pre-fronting of, loading the dice before it gets rolled for the blind idiot god. So
to intervene directly in affairs at a subordinate scale is to fall into time, and if that were to occur, it could not be undone.
Yep.
Aloof ineffability at the scale of the whole requires that action be perfectly unconscious, like rolling over in your sleep to find a more comfortable position. Hence the eternal necessity of the savior figure.
Yep, the eternal existence of the savior figure, this bodhisattva, which becomes as a manifestation of Neo that appears every age, is literally the collective manifestation of the integral anomaly of all of humanity. It's a projection of its will to power as an external source. I mean, this is why the Matrix, the architect needs to create a Neo, because it becomes a mathematical anomaly which has to be integrated back into the source. So because of the idiots and their inability to project their own will, they give off this loosh to create this giant egregore savior called Neo. All right, it is really the Kalka of Shiva or whatever, and then it just resets the goddamn game. All right, this is part of the game. All right, this is what people don't understand.
Hence the eternal necessity of...
really it comes from the fact that people cannot take self-responsibility, self-accountability. So they need to defer to a savior figure instead of looking deep within, all right, to save themselves. Because God helps those who save themselves.
Hence the eternal necessity of the savior figure, the representation of the unconscious at a relatable scale.
Yes.
Understanding the conspiratorially minded as an integral anomaly is wonderful insight.
Yep.
Whether it is to be viewed as pressure release as in the movie...
Pressure release valve, just like in Zion, the dancing of Zion, so that it does not corrupt the others, which is why we get this idea of Agent Smith thing, or the corruption of those who are asleep in the Matrix. The Matrix is very true.
Whether it is to be viewed as pressure release as in the movie, as a contractual obligation that guarantees choice, or as a means of introducing radical novelty, which would be closer to Matt's view, it is illuminating to recognize that it is a part of the program.
Of course it is.
It is interesting that the reality... It is interesting...
No, I'm glad you're here, because the program is very, once you understand it, or have someone like me to elaborate more on your theories, then it's truly very easy to see, okay? Which is why I find the truther community fascinating. The LARPing Zion people who think that they're really, the only true spirited beings dancing to techno rave music in Zion, and the architect definitely doesn't know where we are and doesn't know what we're doing and didn't set it up. I mean, come on, man, it's obvious.
It is interesting that the reality of predation is integral to the system.
Yes.
Fear of the unconsidered perspective, the predator in the dark.
Yep, the predation nature of reality is indicative of that of the cat in Jabulon. The predation aspect, it is the prey and the predator. All right, eat or be eaten. This is literally how the wheel can spin itself, because without the prey-predator mind, then the wheel cannot spin, and thus the wheel stops and goes into stillness, which is the end of Katy Perry, where she no longer spins upon the wheel, where she breaks the cycle of Disney realm. Like, most people stumble and fall, and people want to choose to be prey or predator. Okay, this is natural. This is the only way the wheel can spin, because this wheel spinning, a prey and predation, is caused by the manifestation of necessity to propagate itself, like a wheel spinning. So whether a rabbit eats grass, which is vegetable, whether the vegetable consumes the earth minerals, or whether the prey consumes the rabbit, these cycles must go forward. It's really an insane, evil game, if you want to really think about it.
Fear of the
The only difference is that in the human perspective, the mind is a great predator. So there's a reason why only humans, really, only they Minecraft themselves for a variety of reasons.
fear of the unconsidered perspective, the predator in the dark, is the guarantor of correspondence in a check on the solipsistic spiral.
Yep, correct. That's why solipsism is always a big point to point out.
Fear of the unconsidered perspective.
This is also in the Kybalion, the fear of half-truths, the inability to project perspective beyond your own. Solipsism. This is dangerous. I mean, this is why in Satanism, the number one sin in Satanism is solipsism, all right? Because they need to be very aware of their predator state of mind in relationship to their prey, all right?
Fear of the unconsidered perspective, the predator in the dark, is the guarantor of correspondence in a check on the solipsistic spiral.
Yep, law of
The
correspondence.
concept of consensus gentium, and the woven threads of narrative reality.
Yep, consensus gentium via narrative reality, where these idiot masses usually relegate their power to a figure, an influencer, a YouTuber, someone that they quote-unquote trust, the expert, even if you consider it to me. But I always ask people to just use me as a bouncing board to reflect upon your own thinking and not view me as a an idol, which is why I make the joke of me as a master, so that one day you too can transcend this idea of slave and master, and then one day we can be, co-workers in this journey of the clown show, and then that's all it is. I mean, I'm trying to tell you something without telling you something. All right, this transcendency beyond slave, master, beyond prey, predator, where we become, basically equals. All right. As long as you do the work that I ask you to reflect upon, okay? If not, then you're going to be stuck on the cycle, okay?
The concept of consensus
I
gentium.
mean, literally, most people, they lose their goddamn minds because they cannot get past their own goddamn solipsistic, narcissistic ego. Like, think about all the people I call masters, okay? I have no ego, all right? It's best to say that my ego works for my higher spirit, okay? And it can recognize when it needs to submit itself to learn a lesson. Most people cannot do this, okay? And because of that, they will be trapped by their own volitions.
The concept of consensus gentium, and the woven threads of narrative reality, is a very good heuristic for understanding attempts to shift reality.
Yep.
They promote the revolutionary spirit and
Yep, correct.
They promote the
The dance in Zion, the dance of the truther community, yes. That's why I call it, in old days people called it controlled opposition. I call it token resistance, all right?
They promote the revolutionary spirit and reefy radical subjectivity. They wait for the inevitable desire for a unifying code to grow.
Yep.
They provide the new stabilizing narrative that...
The new stabilizing narrative, the new code that must grow, a mantra, something childish, something easy to grasp so that you don't have to do any work for yourself. Example, F Joe Biden, orange man bad. Okay, easy.
They provide...
Like, these tactics do not change. They've never changed. From what I've read, they've never changed throughout history.
They provide the new stabilizing narrative that amplifies their objectives.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yes. And thus the wheel of Dharma spins for all eternity. Yay. Okay, dude. Okay, well, look, we're almost done. I feel like, my God, this video is going on too long. Okay, but that's from my boy, Mr. Economist, Mr. Smarter Than Me. Well, let's see.
Spirit free. 4 days ago. I am the predator in the dark. I am the one to be scared of in a dark, silent forest. Watch Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. That is such an obscure movie. I haven't watched it in a long time. Okay. That is a good movie, though. Let's keep going.
Dark Glasses Woody. 4 days ago. At Spirit Free I watched the trailer Jews Now. Looks hilarious.
Okay, yeah, that's a pretty old movie, though. Okay, let's see. Okay, Beansburger. Alright, let's see.
Very interesting that you refer to psychedelics as steroids for the spirit. I've tried...
That's because it's true. Steroids is for the body, then psychedelics is steroids for the mind.
Very interesting that you refer to psychedelics as steroids for the spirit. I've tried them a few times and my latest epiphany was that in a way it's like a placebo effect. All of the
yeah, a lot of it is mostly people needing to know that they can do it, right? Which is why I always tell you, you can do something. You can figure it out. It's not that hard. You can astral travel. It's not that hard, okay? Like a lot of it is a mental block in your mind because you mystify it, okay? Like this idea of, oh, enlightenment is only something that whatever can do. Look, you can reach enlightenment. It's not that hard, all right? You can do X. It's not that hard, all right? If you always have this thought mentality in your mind, then nothing really stops you because you have no mental blocks. So
Very interesting that you refer to psychedelics as steroids for the spirit. I've tried them a few times and my latest epiphany was that in a way it's like a placebo effect. All of the experience is already inside
we're
you.
almost done.
You are capable of having it without it, except that it's like a head start, I guess.
Yes.
It's a reflection of the mind state.
It's like training wheels. Most people never have an astral, religious, spiritual experience just because they're bogged down in their diet. So this would be like sugar foods, high-fat foods, caffeine, or whatever. I mean, a lot of this stuff is supposed to happen naturally at very specific points of your life. 21, 28, 30, 33, 40 to 42, and then 54 to 55. Like this is the natural progression of your soul as it ages in the material manifestation of the body. So
It's a reflection of the mind state you're currently in. People always talk about the risks of bad trips without the underlying reasons behind them, which is if you have a fragile mental state during it.
Yep, which is why I recommend you clear out your neuroses first and fix your personality. Most people who want to take psychedelics are people who are these unstable people in the first place, who just want to have a radical hippie experience.
It's a
like no one does it for spiritual reasons these days. They do it to look cool in front of their friends.
It's a reflection of the mind state you're currently in. People always talk about the risks of bad trips without the underlying reasons behind them, which is if you have a fragile mental state during it. I'm kinda getting off track here, but anyway, I definitely can see how it can become a crutch if you only rely on it for the effects when it's possible without.
Yes, it's easy. I mean, look, you secrete DMT anyways when your brain enters a certain state, in your dream state, and then it vibrates and shakes with your pineal gland. I've never taken psychedelics, okay? Like, I'll literally tell you, if you want to do it, just stop drinking caffeine. Sensory deprivation, like I would recommend you, noise canceling headphones like the ones you wear to the gun range, and blindfolds, blackout blindfolds, and go into fetal position. Your body will react in a prenatal state if you do this, and then you can easily travel out into the cosmos of the universe.
I'm kinda getting off track here, but anyway, I definitely can see how it can become a crutch if you only rely on it for the effects when it's possible without. It's just easier to take something, I guess, than to do the work.
Yep, which is the problem with the society. They want to take a pill rather than do the work, okay? And this is the problem with the modern American society.
It's just easier to take something, I guess, than to do the work. Funny how you also mentioned sensory deprivation as a method.
That's what I highly recommend.
Funny how you also mentioned...
If you're new, so...
Funny how you also mentioned sensory deprivation as a method. I noticed whenever I take mushroom it's much more intense when my eyes are closed and there's silence.
Yep.
I thought it was a form of meditation.
Okay, well, there's 1,000 reasons why. It's because, in Buddhism, they call your senses as the thieves of the mind, really. It locks your perception of the astral realms because it causes a narrow focus of what you perceive in a material reality, which is a reflection, opposite reflection of the spirit world. Okay, so we gotta go. This should be one of the last comments. Okay, we got my boy Orby. Okay. Jesus Christ, this is long.
Electrodynamic orb. 5 days ago,
Oh, daddy
edited.
boy, the wives
LOL.
are calling.
Our little BOI Mason is sitting right
Yeah.
above the ambulance.
I know, what a clown
Winking
show.
face with tongue. The mask even has the pattern of a Scottish kilt.
Obviously. Look, I can't believe Days and Noah are showing that. That was such a clear sign to me. Like, if you can start reading the signs that people give to each other and it's pushed out by the system, then you can see the messages being laid out in front of you. All right. When I saw Days of Noah showing that right away, I knew exactly what it was. All right. It was a message. All right. And I can read that message.
Winking face with tongue. The mask even has the pattern of a Scottish kilt. Rolling on the floor laughing. Actually, maybe not. I can't really tell.
Now, you're probably
The
right.
kid really wasn't under any real duress.
Yeah. He was just a little baby, and people are just projecting on their own their own irrational emotions because of their attachment to the current situation, the Voldemort disease and the face covering. Like, I know grown men who go freaking berserk over like a little mask thing. Like, you serious? Like, I've been wearing that goddamn thing like my slave collar 8 hours a day for a year and a half, and people complain about putting on for 20 minutes to walk into a store. Like, and I have asthma. Like, you know, whatever, dude. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, people can't see a trick when it's right in front of them. I mean, even in the beginning, you could have just worn it and put it under your nose and keep resisting by putting it on your chin like a chin diaper until no one takes that as a joke. These days, people are like 50-50. So we are in a situation where it's literally the emperor has no clothes, and it's only a matter of time before the emperor has to do something to put the plebs in their place, because no one is taking it seriously, not even the blue states, all right? It's only these authoritarian Karens that really give a shit, okay? Or these whatever, dude. I mean, things are not looking good because there's a destabilization effect for the loss of confidence in the message. It's been going on too long, all right? Something needs to happen, or else they lose all credibility. Like, we talk about, like, the media is the fourth estate, no credibility. Like, we are having a complete collapse of confidence, no matter how much they try to push things, which is the only real positive I see. Like, these Gen Z kids that I see, they're goddamn pissed at the system, all right? Because it destroyed the future. But I'm used to my future getting destroyed because of 2008, and then there was the whole 2013 economics collapse, and then it kept going, and then this crap. I mean, I've lived through 2 economic depressions, really, and 9/11. Like, I got nothing invested into this round of Mickey Mouse's Disney Realm clown show. Like, get out of here. Like, if you ever think I'm gonna work for Mickey Mouse because after he screwed me over 3 times, you got another thing coming. So
Rainbow Tomato. 4 days ago, edited.
Post in a comment.
Not
here.
Lil Mason.
No,
Leave
not
my
Lil
boy
Mason.
Lil Mason alone, he ain't hurt nobody.
Okay,
Loudly crying face, loudly crying face, cowboy hat face.
Yeah, not Lil Mason. Okay, look, okay. Okay, so Roughneck. Okay, let's see, Roughneck. I got 2 videos, been leveling up real good and keeping it up. Okay, Pink is in the zone. I'm not really in the zone. You just are not aware that a lot of I have to hold back so much of my stuff that I say. And because you saw my unlisted video recently where I showed you how the Christian Patriot Truthers are being used as sacrificial lambs, using the Book of Revelations as a playbook by the elite, and they're being played like a fiddle. Yeah, I do videos like that all the time. You have to be aware because of the platform. I hold back a lot of what I say. Like, a lot of people have heard what I've said for real. Okay, it's not good. So, I mean, it's not good for humanity or the blind idiot masses. But me, it's a different story. So. Okay, we got a last comment because this just came in. Okay, let's go.
Ryan D. Lyon.
All right, what up?
2 minutes ago. The apple also representing the knowledge of good and evil that needs to be transcended for ultimate enlightenment.
Ding, ding, ding. But I don't know if I can ever break down the Bible, really, because people get really dogmatic and upset by it. Like, when I look at the Bible, I look at it as a alchemical story. So, I mean, that is what it is at its highest interpretation. Like, even if you read esoteric works, they refer to the Bible as an alchemical story. And if someone cannot, I mean, it was edited by Sir Francis Bacon, right? I mean, he was the founder of the modern Rosicrucians. He's the one who put forth the secret destiny of America. I mean, whatever, dude. I mean, people can believe whatever they want, right? But the way I look at it, I mean, look, I've even heard. I mean, well, I don't have access to Masonic Bible, okay, where it's unredacted and has references to Horus and Osiris, and I have to use the goddamn decoder ring, okay? Look, for me personally, I mean, it's too much of a point of contention, okay? But I have discussed breaking down the Bible. Alchemical code sometimes for people privately, but it's not my main focus just because it gets me too much heat. Okay, so my dudes, I hope you enjoyed this comment breakdown. Might have been boring, but so I just did this so I can keep my hiatus show on the weekend clean. Okay, so this is pretty long, so I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, bye.